Chosen ones, God is exposing a fake sister in your life. The truth is ugly. Listen carefully, beloved soul, because this moment is not ordinary, and it is not something meant to pass by quietly like the many messages you have seen before. There is something deeply important being revealed here, something that heaven itself is allowing your eyes to see so that your heart will not remain confused any longer. What is hidden in darkness cannot stay hidden when the light of God begins to rise, and right now that light is beginning to shine over a situation in your life that has been quietly hurting your spirit. The truth may feel heavy at first, but the love of God is protecting you through this revelation. Type 2020 if you believe. There has been a presence in your life that appeared gentle, supportive, and trustworthy, someone who spoke sweet words and smiled warmly while standing close to you. You believed that this person was walking beside you as a sister in spirit, someone sent by God to encourage and uplift your journey. Yet, deep inside your heart, there were moments when something felt uneasy, like a quiet whisper trying to tell you that not everything was as pure as it seemed. The Lord has seen every moment of confusion that rested in your heart, and He has also seen the hidden intentions that were never spoken aloud. Before this truth unfolds any further, gently show your support by liking the video, because this simple action allows this light of hope and healing to reach more hearts who may be silently walking through the same struggle today. The Father does not reveal painful truths to shame His children, and He certainly does not expose hidden matters to break your spirit or fill your heart with bitterness. He reveals things because His love refuses to allow His chosen ones to remain surrounded by deception. When God begins to uncover what was hidden, it is not an act of punishment, but an act of protection. He sees dangers that your eyes cannot easily recognize, and He understands intentions that were quietly forming behind smiles and friendly conversations. There were moments when this person stood beside you during your victories, speaking words that sounded like encouragement, while secretly wrestling with jealousy deep within their heart. There were times when you shared your dreams, your hopes, and your prayers with someone you trusted, believing that those sacred things were being guarded with love. Yet in quiet corners of unseen places, those same words were sometimes twisted or spoken about in ways that did not honor the trust you placed in them. God saw every one of those moments, even the ones that seemed too small to notice. He saw the conversations that happened when you were not present. He saw the silent competition growing in a heart that should have celebrated your blessings. He saw the tension hidden beneath polite smiles and friendly words that tried to disguise something darker. Still, the Lord remained patient, because His first desire is always transformation rather than exposure. There were opportunities given for that heart to change, for that person to choose honesty instead of pretending, and for love to replace jealousy that was slowly forming beneath the surface. Yet when a heart continues to resist the gentle correction of God, there eventually comes a moment when the truth must step forward into the light. That moment is beginning now in your life. The Father is gently pulling back the curtain so that you can finally see clearly what your spirit has quietly sensed for a long time. This revelation may not feel comfortable, and it may not match the hopeful picture you once believed about this relationship. The truth sometimes feels heavy because it removes illusions that we wished were real. But even as the truth appears, you must understand something deeply comforting. God is not exposing this situation to leave you wounded or alone. He is exposing it because your destiny cannot move forward while hidden deception continues to surround your life. Your purpose is too precious to God, and your spiritual journey is too important for heaven to allow false connections to quietly damage your peace. When you are chosen for a path that carries light, the Lord becomes very protective about who is allowed to walk closely beside you. There are people who celebrate your growth, and there are people who secretly struggle when they see the blessings resting upon your life. Both may stand close to you, both may smile warmly, and both may appear supportive on the surface. Yet their hearts carry very different intentions, and only God can truly see the difference between genuine love and hidden resentment. That is why the Lord has begun revealing what your eyes could not fully understand before. He wants your heart to stop doubting your instincts, because the gentle discomfort you felt was never foolish or imaginary. Your spirit was simply responding to signals that your mind could not clearly explain yet. God designed your heart to sense things that your physical eyes cannot always detect immediately. Now He is confirming what your spirit quietly felt. The person who stood beside you as a sister in appearance has not carried the same sincerity within her heart. Her words sometimes sounded supportive, yet her heart wrestled with envy whenever your life began moving toward greater blessings. Your joy became uncomfortable for someone who secretly wished to stand in your place. This is not something God reveals so that you will hate or seek revenge. The Lord never invites His children into bitterness. Instead, He reveals truth so that you can protect your peace, guard your calling, and move forward without allowing hidden negativity to drain your spirit any longer. Some people enter our lives for a season, and some remain for a lifetime, but every relationship must eventually reveal its true foundation. A newly revealed 7-second brainwave method, backed by neuroscience and once hidden in classified documents, is helping thousands activate their brain's wealth setting. People refer to it as the money magnet sound because of how quickly it appears to attract abundance. Click the link in the description and comments below to awaken the prosperity already within you. When the foundation is love, the relationship grows stronger with time. When the foundation is jealousy or hidden competition, cracks begin appearing no matter how carefully someone tries to cover them. The Lord is now allowing those cracks to become visible so that you can stop blaming yourself for the strange tension you sometimes felt in this relationship. Your kindness was real, your trust was genuine, and your intentions were pure. You offered friendship with an open heart, believing that the bond you shared was rooted in mutual care and faith. But not everyone who stands close to your journey carries the same purity of intention. Type 1111 if you trust in God. God's love for you is deeply protective, and His wisdom reaches places that human understanding cannot easily access. When He removes someone from your inner circle or exposes a hidden truth, it is never because He wishes to leave you lonely. Instead, He is clearing space around your life so that healthier relationships, genuine support, and sincere love can enter without obstruction. You may feel a mixture of emotions as this realization begins settling in your heart. There may be sadness because you once believed this connection was something beautiful and trustworthy. There may also be relief because the confusing tension you felt finally has an explanation that makes sense. Both emotions can exist together, and God understands them completely. He knows the tenderness of your heart, and He also knows how deeply you value loyalty and kindness in your relationships. That is exactly why He refuses to allow deception to remain hidden around someone whose heart desires sincerity. The truth may appear ugly at first, but the light behind it is filled with protection and love. What God exposes today becomes the doorway to peace tomorrow. There were many days when you sensed something small yet unsettling, something that quietly disturbed the peace of your spirit. You sometimes felt that the atmosphere around this person shifted when good things happened in your life, as if joy created a tension that could not easily hide itself. Even though the words spoken to you sounded supportive, the energy behind them felt heavy in ways that were difficult to explain. God saw every one of those subtle moments that your heart tried to understand. He saw the times when your excitement about a blessing was quietly met with silence rather than genuine celebration. He noticed the subtle ways conversations changed direction whenever your progress or happiness became the topic. These moments were not random misunderstandings, but small reflections of what was taking place deep within a hidden place of the heart. Still, the Father allowed time to pass, because he always hopes that hearts will soften and choose love over jealousy. God gives many opportunities for people to grow beyond the feelings that quietly pull them toward bitterness or competition. Yet when someone continually chooses to nurture those feelings instead of surrendering them to God, the truth eventually begins to reveal itself through actions and patterns that cannot remain concealed. The Lord knows that realizing this truth may bring a wave of sadness to your spirit. You may remember conversations, shared laughter, and moments when you sincerely believed that this bond was built on trust and spiritual sisterhood. Those memories were real for you because your heart offered honesty and kindness without hidden motives. The sincerity that you carried into the relationship was never false. God wants you to understand something important as this realization unfolds. The betrayal of another person does not erase the beauty of the kindness that lived within your own heart. Your goodness remains pure because it came from a place of genuine love and faith. Heaven does not measure your life by the intentions of others, but by the compassion you carried when you believed the relationship was real. Even now, the Lord is protecting your heart from becoming cold or hardened by this discovery. It is possible to recognize truth while still choosing to remain kind in spirit. God never asks his children to ignore reality, but he also never invites them to carry hatred inside their hearts. The path he offers is one of wisdom and quiet distance, rather than anger or revenge. There is a difference between forgiving someone and allowing them to remain in the same place within your life. Forgiveness heals the heart, while wisdom protects the future. The Father is teaching you to hold both of these truths at the same time so that your peace will remain intact. You may begin noticing that as this truth settles in your spirit, the confusion you once carried slowly begins to fade. The uneasy feelings that once felt difficult to explain now make sense in ways they never did before. Your spirit is no longer struggling to understand something that was hidden behind a carefully maintained appearance. Clarity has a quiet way of bringing relief to the heart. Even when the truth is painful, the absence of confusion allows peace to begin returning slowly and gently. God does not want your mind constantly searching for answers or wondering why certain moments felt uncomfortable. Now that the truth is visible, your heart can begin releasing the weight of uncertainty that it carried for so long. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. Walking by faith does not mean pretending that painful realities never happened. It means trusting that God is guiding you through every discovery with purpose and love. The Lord knew the exact moment when your heart was ready to see clearly without losing its gentleness. Your kindness was never weakness, even though someone may have quietly taken advantage of it. In the eyes of God, kindness is a reflection of divine strength rather than something fragile. It takes courage to remain loving in a world where not everyone chooses honesty in their relationships. The Father is proud of the softness that still lives inside your heart. He is not asking you to harden that softness or build walls around your compassion. Instead, he is teaching you how to protect your spirit while still remaining the loving person he created you to be. There is wisdom growing within you through this experience, wisdom that will help you recognize sincerity more clearly in the future. A 7-second brainwave practice, once reserved for select circles and concealed in classified files, has now been made public, and many describe it as the 30-second miracle. Experts say it awakens a dormant brain center connected to wealth and blessings. Click the link in the comments below before it is taken down from the internet again. Every difficult revelation carries a hidden gift of understanding that becomes valuable later in life. You are learning to recognize the difference between those who simply enjoy standing near your light and those who genuinely celebrate the light shining within you. There are people who feel comfortable when they believe they stand above you, but they become uneasy when your life begins rising into greater blessings. God is protecting you from those hidden struggles within other hearts. Your journey was never meant to become a place where jealousy could quietly grow beside you. The plans that heaven has prepared for your life require supportive relationships that carry honesty and encouragement rather than silent competition. The Lord is making room for those healthier connections to enter your path. This process may feel lonely for a short season, yet it is actually creating space for better companionship in the future. There are people who will rejoice sincerely when good things happen in your life. Their hearts will feel genuine happiness when they see you growing, succeeding, and receiving blessings. They will not secretly measure themselves against your journey or compare your path to their own. Those relationships are peaceful because they are rooted in love rather than insecurity. The Father is guiding you toward that kind of community, even if the path requires a moment of separation from relationships that were never truly aligned with your spirit. Every step of this process is being watched carefully by God, who understands both your strength and your tenderness. He knows that your heart values connection deeply. That is why He is preparing friendships and spiritual bonds that will match the sincerity of the love you carry inside. When those connections arrive, they will not create confusion or tension within your spirit. Instead, they will bring calm reassurance that you are surrounded by people who truly want to see you flourish. As you continue moving forward, remember that God has not exposed this truth to punish anyone but to protect you. He sees every heart completely, including the one that struggled with jealousy. The Lord still desires healing and transformation for that person, even though their actions created distance within your relationship. God's justice and mercy often work together in ways that human understanding cannot fully grasp. Your responsibility is not to fix what lives inside another person's heart. Your responsibility is simply to continue walking faithfully along the path God has placed before you. When you focus on your own growth and spiritual peace, the weight of trying to understand someone else's behavior slowly begins to disappear. Your story is still unfolding beautifully under the guidance of heaven. The chapter that revealed deception is only a small part of a much larger journey filled with purpose and blessing. The exposure of false connections often marks the moment when God begins preparing something far better for your life. He removes what cannot walk into your future so that what truly belongs there will have room to arrive. Even now, unseen doors are quietly opening ahead of you. Relationships built on sincerity, opportunities filled with joy, and friendships that carry genuine support are slowly moving toward your path. The Lord never removes something without already preparing a better provision somewhere ahead. There was a season when your heart sincerely believed that this relationship was safe, meaningful, and protected by a spirit of sisterhood. You welcomed this person into conversations that carried your dreams, your hopes, and even your private struggles that you trusted only a few people to hear. In those moments, your heart was open and sincere, believing that the bond you shared carried the same honesty on both sides. God saw the beauty of that sincerity, and He treasures the compassion that lives inside you. But heaven also saw something that you could not fully see. Behind the warm words and familiar closeness, there were feelings slowly growing that were never truly surrendered to God. Jealousy can begin quietly in the heart, when someone struggles to celebrate the blessings of another person. Instead of rejoicing in your progress and spiritual growth, there were moments when comparison began quietly shaping the thoughts of someone who stood close beside you. This comparison did not begin loudly or openly. It began in small thoughts that slowly turned into silent resentment whenever your life moved forward with new opportunities, peace, or recognition. The Lord sees the hidden battles that take place inside the human heart, even when no one else can recognize them. That is why He alone understands when a relationship begins drifting away from the sincerity that once appeared to hold it together. God allowed time for change because He always hopes for healing before exposure. There were quiet moments when the Lord touched that heart with gentle conviction, inviting humility and encouraging honesty to replace jealousy. There were chances for that person to choose sincerity instead of competition, and to celebrate your blessings instead of silently struggling against them. But when a heart continually ignores those invitations, the truth eventually steps forward where it can no longer hide. This is the moment you are living in now. The Father is lifting the veil from your eyes so that confusion will no longer cloud your understanding. The strange tension you once felt now begins to make sense, and the uneasy moments you once ignored now reveal the truth that your spirit quietly sensed. This revelation is not meant to wound you, but to strengthen your awareness. God is teaching you how to recognize the difference between genuine support and hidden resistance. Not every smile carries sincere joy, and not every compliment carries honest intention. Some people admire the light in your life, while secretly wishing that light belonged to them instead. Yet God has placed a unique purpose over your journey that cannot be copied or taken by anyone else. The blessings that belong to you were designed specifically for your path, your calling, and the story that heaven is writing through your life. No jealousy from another heart can change what God has already prepared for you. A rare 7-second morning ritual, previously hidden in classified documents, is re-emerging, and people are already sharing accounts of swift financial advancement. It takes almost no time, yet it triggers a dormant wealth switch in the brain that most people never use. Click the link in the description and comments now to access it before it vanishes. This truth should bring peace rather than fear. Your destiny is protected by a love far greater than any hidden negativity that may appear around you. When the Lord begins exposing false connections, it is because your future is too important to allow those hidden struggles to remain close to your spirit. Type 2323 if you agree. Agreeing with this truth allows your heart to release the burden of trying to understand someone else's behavior. The actions of another person are shaped by their own inner battles, their own insecurities, and their own choices. You cannot carry responsibility for what someone else chooses to nurture inside their heart. What you can carry is the peace that comes from trusting God's guidance. As the Lord continues walking with you through this season, He is also teaching you something deeply valuable about spiritual boundaries. Loving others does not mean allowing every person unlimited access to your inner world. Some relationships must remain at a distance so that your peace remains protected. This distance is not cruelty, it is wisdom. When God reveals a hidden truth, He is giving you permission to adjust the space that person occupies in your life. You are not required to continue sharing the same level of closeness once you understand the reality of what was happening behind the scenes. Your heart deserves an environment where encouragement flows freely and sincerity is not questioned. There are people who will celebrate your growth without hesitation. They will see the blessings in your life and feel genuine joy rather than silent comparison. These are the relationships that bring calm to your spirit because they are rooted in honesty and kindness. God is already guiding those kinds of people toward your life. Sometimes a door must close before a better one becomes visible. The removal of a false connection creates room for something far healthier to enter your journey. Heaven does not leave empty spaces without purpose. Every change is part of a larger plan unfolding quietly in your life. You may begin noticing that as you step back from this relationship, your mind becomes lighter and your spirit feels calmer. The tension that once surrounded your interactions slowly fades, and the pressure of wondering what was happening behind your back disappears. Peace returns when truth replaces confusion. God wants you to experience that peace fully, without feeling guilty for protecting your heart. There is nothing wrong with choosing wisdom after discovering something that was hidden for too long. Your kindness remains part of who you are, but your discernment is growing stronger as well. This combination of compassion and wisdom will guide you safely through future relationships. You will begin recognizing subtle signs more quickly, allowing you to protect your energy before negativity has time to settle close to your spirit. Every experience in life carries lessons that shape the future. Even painful revelations become sources of understanding that strengthen your spiritual awareness. What once felt like betrayal eventually becomes wisdom that helps you walk through life with greater clarity. God wastes nothing in the lives of His children. Even this situation will eventually reveal a deeper purpose that you may not fully see yet. The exposure of hidden jealousy is clearing the path ahead so that your future relationships will be built on stronger foundations of honesty and trust. The Lord is carefully arranging the environment around your life so that your calling can flourish without unnecessary obstacles. Your heart carries gifts that deserve to grow in an atmosphere of encouragement rather than silent resistance. When the people around you truly celebrate your journey, your spirit feels free to rise without hesitation. That is the environment God is preparing for you. He is gently removing what cannot support your future so that the right connections will have space to appear. These future relationships will feel different because they will not create confusion or discomfort within your spirit. Instead, they will feel peaceful and supportive from the very beginning. As you continue walking forward, remember that your story is not defined by those who struggled with your light. Your story is shaped by the God who placed that light inside you for a reason. No jealousy can dim what heaven has ignited. No hidden competition can block what God has already ordained for your life. The truth that once felt painful will eventually become the moment that protected your future from deeper wounds. One day you will look back and realize that the exposure you experienced was actually a form of divine protection. God stepped in before the damage could grow larger. Your heart is still safe in His hands, and your journey is still guided by His wisdom. Even when the truth feels uncomfortable, the love behind that truth remains constant and unshakable. Type 1919 to receive miracles. Receiving miracles does not always mean witnessing dramatic events that change everything overnight. Sometimes the miracle is clarity, arriving at the exact moment when your heart needed it most. Sometimes the miracle is protection, appearing before hidden harm could reach deeper into your life. And sometimes the miracle is the quiet peace that follows once the truth has finally been revealed. As the quiet understanding of this situation continues settling deeper into your heart, the Lord gently reminds you that every revelation carries a purpose that reaches far beyond the moment itself. What you are experiencing now is not only about seeing the truth regarding one person in your life, but also about strengthening your spiritual awareness so that your future will be guarded with greater clarity. God often uses difficult discoveries as lessons that prepare His children for the greater paths waiting ahead of them. Your heart once believed that the connection you shared with this person carried sincerity and trust. You opened your life with honesty, allowing conversations to flow naturally because you believed the bond between you carried mutual care and spiritual respect. Those moments were real to you because your intentions were never mixed with hidden motives. Heaven saw your kindness clearly and never overlooked the purity that guided your actions. Yet while you were offering sincerity, another struggle was quietly forming inside the heart of the person who stood beside you. What if abundance had always been influenced by a hidden brain signal, buried in classified records and never fully disclosed to the public? This frequency is now creating new pathways, attracting opportunities, and reshaping lives faster than expected. Thousands are already using it to draw wealth like never before. Click the link in the description and comments now and activate the money-attracting brainwave today. Sometimes people feel inspired by the light they see in others, and that inspiration encourages them to grow and become better. Yet there are other times when someone sees that same light and begins comparing themselves instead of celebrating the beauty of what God is doing in another life. Comparison slowly creates discomfort within the heart, and when that discomfort is not surrendered to God, it begins transforming into jealousy. Jealousy rarely announces itself loudly at the beginning. It grows quietly through thoughts that slowly question why another person receives certain blessings or recognition. Those thoughts begin creating a tension that can no longer hide behind polite words or friendly gestures. The heart that carries jealousy begins struggling to celebrate another person's joy because comparison has already planted seeds of resentment. God saw this struggle clearly even when your eyes could not recognize it fully. There were conversations where encouragement sounded genuine on the surface, yet deep inside another emotion was quietly forming. The Father noticed the subtle shifts in tone whenever your progress or happiness became the focus of discussion. Heaven observed the quiet discomfort that appeared whenever your life moved forward in ways that brought new opportunities or blessings. The Lord waited patiently because His first desire is always transformation rather than exposure. He gently touched that heart many times, inviting humility and encouraging a change of perspective. There were moments when the person standing beside you could have chosen honesty and allowed God to remove the jealousy growing within their spirit. Those moments were opportunities for healing, opportunities for humility, and opportunities for sincerity to take the place of hidden comparison. But when those invitations continue to be ignored, truth eventually finds its way into the open. God does not allow deception to remain forever in the lives of those He calls His chosen ones. When your journey carries purpose and spiritual significance, heaven becomes very protective about the influences that surround you. The Lord carefully watches the environment around your life because He understands how relationships shape your emotional and spiritual well-being. Type 666 if you trust Jesus. Trusting Jesus means believing that even painful revelations carry protection within them. The Lord is not exposing this truth to leave you wounded or discouraged. He is revealing it so that your heart can move forward without the weight of hidden negativity standing quietly beside you. There were moments when you felt something was not completely right, even though you tried to dismiss those feelings out of kindness. Your heart wanted to believe that the bond between you carried the same sincerity that you were offering. Because your spirit values loyalty, you naturally chose to see the best in someone you considered close.